So in terms of verification, what does verification of requirements really mean? It is about making sure that the requirements that we have stated, that we have actually specified, they are meeting the standards of quality. They're actually, serving the purpose for which they've been designed for which they have actually been set out for. And that's actually verification mean. So it's all about making sure that you are getting the required level of detail. You're capturing all the information in the right way, and you're actually got all of those in the aspects of them meeting the standards of the specification of the quality that you have initially agreed upon or defined. And it is a check to determine that the requirements are ready for validation. So once you've verified, you move on to the validation. So we'll talk about the validation of the requirements later once the verification is complete. And the verification does mean that you're trying to actually meet up the needs of stakeholders, all the stakeholders, whether it is they're internal or external, and then how they're going to use, irrespective of how they're going to use these requirements, whether some of the testing team could use it for the verification, some of the senior stakeholders might just use it as a checklist, whether they're getting the return on the investment. It doesn't really matter. End of the day, it is all helping each of these different sets of stakeholders to determine what they can do with these stakeholders to achieve their own purpose. So what does it really mean? So we've got all the requirements, we've got specified and modeled. These are the requirements that come as input into this particular task of verification requirements. And now the task is basically to verify the requirements. And then once it is done, the output is obviously the verified requirements coming out saying that, yes, these are now in a position to go into the next stage, which is about validation. So what does this really mean? It means that the requirements, lifecycle management tools need to be in place. We are actually trying to determine what would be the key set of the traceability. For example, we were talking about traceability in there. We were talking about the requirements in the right level of detail, the granularity, abstraction, all of those need to be maintained and met by this time. And what are the other kind of tasks that would potentially use this is basically we were saying that we're going to now the verification would lead to validation, and then further would completely move on into the approval stages. Because basically that's when yeah, we have got pretty much all done. We have not just understood what is required, we've identified the requirements, we have traced the requirements, we have prioritized them, we've got them validated, we've got verified. We've done pretty much everything that needs to be around the requirements, and perhaps even the communication aspect comes into picture. After that, it's now in a good stage for it to be approved